What's something you learned about yourself this year?
I learned about myself that I need more help than I think I do, and I tend to not ask for it when I need it. Like, I feel like I want to take control of myself and have control of my life, but there's only so much you can control, and I realized that by going through hard things and realizing that it's okay to go through them, and it's better to learn how to go through them than to like battle it and be angry about what you're going through.
Definitely putting myself first more. I always tend to take care of other people before myself. So
Maybe that through the up or downs, I'll just continue to push.
Mine would be just like interacting can always open up different opportunities and open different doors.
I would say that my beliefs don't stick to things that are just like black and white, right and wrong. There's definitely a lot of more gray area than I realize there is in the world, and there's always room to like learn about things that I don't actually know. So many things I could be wrong about and I don't know about, which is fine as long as I'm open to learn about it.
That I can have more confidence in myself. But I feel like I'm still really like anxious because I don't have much confidence in myself, and I just don't really like putting myself out there, I guess, because I'm scared of being judged. I feel like people who are around my age, like I'm almost 21, but most people have like matured a little bit to the point where they don't just judge people that easily.
What's the typical way to meet people nowadays?
I'm gonna be real with you guys. The most craziest way to meet someone is to like say something spectacular about them and then ask like smaller questions like, yo, your shoes are fire or whatever, and then just start small talking, and then you work your way up as being like, oh, I'm like living over here. Oh, hey, we should just catch a bite later. This works for just friendships, but if you're like trying to ask a girl out or anything, I think like your biggest bet is like just telling her straight up, like, hey, you're beautiful, can I get your number?
Community events, bro. Like I've been to a couple like gardening events, cleanups and stuff, you know. You can meet some like-minded people, bro.
For me, mostly like through school and stuff, or even at work. But I'm also like not a very social person, so I don't really go out. But like I'm always looking for new ways to meet people too.
Is there any moment in your life you wish you could go back to? Not to change anything, but just to feel that same feeling again.
I feel like parts of my childhood I would go back to relive, and just to feel not having the pressure of being an adult and having responsibilities, and just the nostalgia of not having technology like AI, like all of that, like things, complicated things to think about as a kid. Like you don't know about the bad things, and I feel like that's nostalgic and something you want to go back to.
I'm Guatemalan. I just moved 3 years ago, so I'll say being there again, but not just going back to my country, being with the same people at that time and living the same time,
like get that same experience.
Exactly. I'll say 2018. I love that year, and there's like a specific time when I was in school, and that afternoon I went with my family, and I love that day.
When I was younger, I used to be like really close with my little sister, and we used to play a lot together. I miss that, and I also miss being in high school just because I had a lot less responsibilities back then, and I felt more free, I guess. I miss that.
Do you feel friendships are harder to make as you get older?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Because in school, like you're forced into a place and you just make these friends all the time. But then as you get older, like you just hang out with yourself more and more.
I know I messed up in my past, bro. I lost a lot of friends because I have lost like connectivity. I think life just moves. Sometimes you just focus too much on yourself, which is kind of a bad thing. But you know, if life hits you, like you want to just start working, then yeah, go ahead and work. But like, you know, our jobs sometimes take time of our day. However you make time for that person, I think that's a genuine way of just being like, hey, I really F with you.
I think real friendships are harder to find when you get older. I feel like as you get older, your time kind of speeds up a little bit. So you got to see where you want to dedicate your time to. So you just got to decide where you want to put your energy at.
I do think it's harder to find as we get older. I think mainly based on the isolation that happens naturally. There's more movement in like social movement when you're younger. You know, you're transitioning from school to school, you know, school to work, you know, things like that nature, moving to new cities. Whereas when we're older, you tend to be more stationary where you're at, so it's easier to become more isolated.
Is there anything you're still healing from? And if so, how are you doing so?
Probably forgiving people, that trying to forgive people, that's like a type of healing part. Like I said, we're all humans. I don't
get to judge anyone.
Probably, I would say his like passing away because he OD'd and I was the one that found him. That is still something that it's kind of like hard for me to do.
Definitely my last relationship. It was very loaded. I would just say I'm more healing more so from not being around somebody all the time and like not having to do as much for somebody else. It's more of like filling a void of like having to take care of somebody.
Like past relationships and the trust issues that they've brought me, I think self-love has been like the best thing for me, as like I was in the relationship because I wasn't loving myself, and getting out of it gave me the space and opportunity to look at myself for who I am and value just myself rather than putting my value and my eggs in one basket. So not only the value with like myself, but the people around me is more important than placing it into one person that doesn't value you.
My past relationships too. I had some really bad relationship experiences, but I feel like I'm in a relationship right now and it's pretty long term. Almost 3 years now, and it's been healing me little by little. And also from like failed friendships, I feel like I used to be really close with certain people and we've just grown apart, and it used to really hurt me, but I feel like now I'm realizing that people can grow apart and that's okay.
I think everybody has problems, everybody has trauma, and I don't think anybody can ever be truly 100% healed from everything. Trauma just diminishes, it doesn't really go away. Things like, I don't know, my grandpa passing, or my brother not being here, or my dog being here, or friends that I don't talk to that I used to be really close to, a lot of things. But I think that's just part of the human condition.
What advice would you give to someone who feels like they're lost right now?
I don't want to sound like ignorant, but that's part of the human experience. That's part of growing up, is always feeling lost. I think that a lot of people look at others and think, oh, they know what they got. They know what to do in their life. They know who they are and what they want to do. Nobody really does. Even the people that look like they do or say they do, everyone's lost in this world. Nobody really feels like they belong. Who feels like they're in the right exact place that they need to be all the time? Nobody. If you don't feel like you belong, good. That's where you're supposed to be.
Well, honestly, I feel lost sometimes too. I just talk to people who I know care about me because I know that they'll always remind me that they're always there for me. I think looking at my parents is really helpful because when they were around my age, they were also like not successful at all yet, but now they're at the point in life where I also would like to be in the future. So that makes me hopeful.
It's really about finding a why. What's your purpose? Why are you doing this? Or what led you to how far you've become or where you are at the moment? It might just be a little challenge that gives you a step back, but you gotta always remember why you're doing it.
Finding just like that purpose that keeps you going. For me, I just feel like family. A lot of people can relate to that, or sometimes it's just like their closest friends as well.
I would tell someone that they have time. I feel like people nowadays have pressure in thinking that they're behind, like comparing themselves to other people, looking how like people are doing this at this age, and I feel like it's never right to compare. And if you just look at yourself and realize the things that you've accomplished on your own, you can have more confidence in yourself and take it from there rather than making big goals that you can accomplish later in life and pressuring them with like a time or like an age that you should accomplish them in.
I would say pray. I would say that's the only right answer that you are going to find. That's gonna give you peace.
Like something that's like really helpful for me is like a hobby that I really enjoy doing, because I feel like that ends up like, oh, okay, like I'm actually okay, and like I can do like so much more than just like not do anything.
I would kind of just say the same thing. Try different things, try new hobbies, figure out what your interests are, do what you need to do for yourself, and you'll find your own way. No matter how like lost you think you are, you're not lost. You just need to find like fascinates you, what interests you, and you'll find your way.
Are people today more connected to each other or surrounded by each other?
I feel a lot of people are just like surrounded. They don't really like, even with your family, right? Like a lot of people, they have their family, but they don't talk to their family like on a deep emotional level. They just have like the I love yous and stuff. But they don't know why would they do this stuff for them, or like it's very just like we know each other, but like do we really know each other like that?
I think surrounded. Probably. With us being more involved digitally, I think it's easy to become more disconnected from people. So I think we have fewer of those connections than we would like. I think we're more preoccupied with other things now.
If you're like me, you see like deja vu events, right? That's what we call it. Like you feel like maybe the people that are around you are meant to be in your surroundings as you move long in life. And it's crazy to think about it because you meet people almost like every day, but you don't talk to them. You might think like, oh, maybe I should have talked to them. So that connectivity is based upon you. Like if you think that this is like a good opportunity for you to be friends with that person, go ahead and take it, because you just never know. Sometimes they'll awaken you to like your next career push. Meeting people at a next career push is like the best possible that you can go through, because there's a lot of dividing in life today as we speak, but I think teamwork really makes the dream work type deal.
I think most people are surrounded sometimes. I feel like sometimes people aren't really present. A lot of people are thinking about like a million thoughts a day. It's hard for people to be present sometimes and be connected with one another. So,
Do you feel like real friendships are harder to find as we get older?
I do think it's harder to find as we get older. I think mainly based on the isolation that happens naturally. There's more like social movement when you're younger. You're transitioning from school to school, school to work, things like that nature, moving to new cities. Whereas when we're older, you tend to be more stationary where you're at. So it's easier to become more isolated.
And do you think we attract the type of people we're becoming, or the type of people we still need to grow from?
Maybe a combination of both, but probably more the former, I think. I think because the people that we meet are kind of representative of who we are at the present. I think that's, the growth will happen later.
I like to see it as both ways. There are people where you kind of, I wouldn't say you judge them, but there's a lot of judgmental people out there, because I have a lot of things that people think about me, but I have already admitted that I have messed up in the friendship way, and people have thought that maybe I'm the one that messed up, but truthfully is I've learned to just let an ego down. It's a good way of saying that if you want to become a person that you think is having it good, then maybe you must treat the people around you good.
I think we attract the people we're becoming, or like what you think is sort of like what you become, right? So like say you have an intention of wanting to go into business or like do videos, just thinking that, like putting that out there, you'll attract like-minded people.